Imagine you're going to Disneyland, except you're going to Disneyland with 100 people, okay? You're going to Disneyland with a group of many people. So, in order to keep the group organized and to keep it financially reliable, they split you into parties and they split the money among parties. But they don't split you into even groups, okay? They split you into groups depending on your connections to the people in the group. So, you and your family might be split into a group of 12, perhaps. And Johnny Walker over there and his family, he might be split into a group of 4 because he only brought 3 family members with him, right? So your party, I'm going to call them parties from now on. Your party is a group of 12. His party is a group of 4. Now imagine that the group gives a certain amount of money to each group plus an amount of money per person. So we will say that the group gives each party $1,000 plus a certain amount of money per person. And this is stipend money to spend at Disneyland. Okay? So that $1,000 is to be spent by your whole group, right? Each person gets, I don't know, $100 given to them individually, and then the whole party gets $1,000 to spend on whatever they need for the whole party. But the group of 4 gets $250 per person, where the group of 12 gets, what, $88 per person? That is extremely unfair, is it not? The money is not being distributed evenly. Nobody is happy. This is the Electoral College. So the purpose of Congress is to provide representation for its citizens so that the government can make laws that will benefit the whole land. The Senate is comprised of 100 members, 2 sent from each state. This is the first body that I will cover here, and it is half of Congress. This means that those 100 people are given 50% of the power. The other part of Congress is called the House of Representatives. This currently consists of 438 members, and each state gets a certain amount based on its population. Currently, the numbers are pretty close to 565,000 people per representative. This means that each state gets 1 representative for every 565,000 people. And this is a good way to represent the government in Congress because it is a way of distributing power based on citizens. The Electoral College, however, is the combination of the two, and this can produce some very unusual statistics. Let's take the 2 extreme states as examples of why I think the Electoral College is flawed. The state of California gets 55 Electoral College votes. This means that 53 of those votes come from the House of Representatives, and 2 of those votes come from the Senate, as every state in the Union gets 2 votes. Now, the state of Wyoming gets 3 Electoral College votes. 2 votes from the Senate, as every state receives 2 votes, and 1 from the House of Representatives, as it has less than 565,000 people living in the state. This means that California gets 3% of its votes from the Senate, its state power, and Wyoming gets 66% of its votes from state power alone, and only 33% representative of the entire population. Examples of extreme states like this are Alaska, Delaware, Montana, North Dakota, South Dakota, Vermont, and Wyoming. Each of these states has less population than 1 vote, and so only receives 1 vote in the House of Representatives. Remember that the election of the President of the United States is based on the number of electoral votes that someone has received. And 5 times in United States history, this has been determined by the amount of electoral votes that the president gets from each state, not necessarily representative of the amount of people who voted for the president. And Donald Trump, our most recent president, was elected based on the state votes and not on the representative votes. The state votes were enough to push him over. Donald Trump is behind by 2.5 million votes under Hillary Clinton, the person who was the popular vote winner. The vote should be representative of what the people want. There are arguments to be made about our current electoral college system. The reason it exists is because when the country was first founded, the founding fathers of the country wanted to create a system where the states had power, the power to elect the president based on their statehood and not necessarily based on their representative population. It's trusted that each state is its own governing body and therefore receives 2 votes by default just for being recognized as a state. And I can understand this mentality, but these days, state lines don't mean as much as they used to. And I think that this system is archaic and outdated. We should implement a new system, the details of which I am not entirely clear on myself. I don't have any good ideas for how to fix the system. I do know, however, that the system as it is right now cannot stand. 2 times in the past 20 years, we have had stalemate votes like this that were decided by state votes. In 2000, the election between George W. Bush and Dick Cheney was decided by state votes. And in 2016, the election between Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton was also decided by state votes. This means that in those 2 elections, those presidents were not elected by popular vote, but were instead elected by Electoral College votes, with huge differences between the two. Not necessarily that large, actually, in the case of George W. Bush versus Dick Cheney. However, in the case of Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump, you see a 2.5 million person difference in an election that only had a turnout of 130 million people. That is a huge discrepancy in a voting system that is supposed to be representative of the people's wishes. We are a democratic republic. Maybe we should start acting like one. Thanks so much for watching the video. I was very careful not to outline my political beliefs in this video because I don't think that's what we should be talking about right now. Because I don't really think it matters in this issue. What's most important is making sure that our system is as representative of the people as possible. If you liked the video, be sure to subscribe. I can't guarantee that videos like this will keep coming out as my channel is currently an eclectic mix of gameplay and rants and other kinds of things, but I did feel like I had to make this video. It is a little bit late. I'm sorry about that. Voting ended 6 months ago, but I definitely feel like I had something to say. I was talking to a friend about it today, and I decided to record this off the cuff using some statistics I researched. And hopefully you can kind of see what's going on if you haven't already. I would highly recommend watching CGP Gray's video on the subject as well. He did a good job. He covered some stuff I did, but I did actually research this on my own. I just want to point that out. But I idolize CGP Gray. He is an amazing person, and he teaches videos very well. So check him out. I'll leave a card in the top right. Not that he needs me, but might as well. And I'll talk to you later. Have a nice day.